It's Demolition Derby time at the fair. We loved the Demolition Derby. I'd never been before. I always wanted to go, and I desperately wanted to take Declan to the fair this year. Now, was it a good idea? Maybe. There's pros and cons. He really loved when the little kids did their demolition cars. It wasn't super loud. He was able to watch. There wasn't mud flying everywhere. And then when just the standard cars came out and did their stuff, that was pretty cool too. He seemed interested. I will say, when the crowd started to scream and just, wow, they went wild, he kind of panicked. He'd not been around that before. He has been to a lot of environments, but he didn't know how to react to that screaming and yelling. So I think that was a little bit of a challenge for him. But he cried for about 3 to 5 minutes, and we just kind of looked around and showed him that everyone was fine and nobody was fighting or anything like that. It was just, they were excited. So we tried to encourage him to, yay, and get more like excited and loud. And once he did that, I think he really enjoyed it. Now, when the bigger cars with the more powerful engines came out, we did end up taking Declan out. It was incredibly loud, and there was just debris flying everywhere. So for us, like, we actually covered his, we put him back in his car seat and covered him at that time. And I felt like it was just a better environment. My mom and dad were there too, my mom and my brother. And my mom and I both were like, let's go into the fair. So it was still a great experience because they were able to enjoy the rest of the Demolition Derby. We went into the fair and showed Declan all the lights, and we went by the chickens and the roosters. I actually think, don't do that. That was much more terrifying for him than the Demolition Derby. Like, you know those big lanes of roosters that you see in the fair just for like prize roosters and chickens and turkeys and stuff? He was terrified. So don't go in there, but do the initial Demolition Derby portion, but get out before the high-powered engines and go look at the lights and watch the rides. He really loved watching all the rides and the lights. He enjoyed all of that so much. So I definitely think go to the fair, enjoy the fair, and do as much as you normally would. Just do be prepared for anything you might need to change or any just things you might have to do a little bit differently that maybe next year you can kind of ease into. But it's a good way to just transition into getting him used to things that you love doing. So I do recommend, if you're doing something like the Derby or anything like that, get there early. There are bleachers, and you want to make sure that it sounds selfish, but that you get enough space for you and your baby. So we got there early enough to take up a good bit of space on our bleacher as well as the bleacher in front of us. We brought his stroller so we could block up an area just so that nobody was just getting a little too rowdy and back up on him. So yes, it seems a little selfish, but when you have a baby, you do have to kind of make those decisions and decide, do I want to be like, maybe it's perceived as rude, or do I want to just maybe protect my baby better in the situation? So that is your call, but that's what we wanted to do, and I felt comfortable with. Nobody seemed to be upset with us. They seemed to understand exactly what we were doing. We kept all of our stuff kind of in that area. So let me know if you go to the fair, what you went to do and what you went to see. And if you enjoyed this video, just let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Bye, guys.
When you want. Well, these little things fall apart real easy, don't they? Look at all that mess. Sound like a bunch of little bumblebees out there. Oh, that was good. Oh, I tell you, old Charlotte, she's doing good out there. Looks like she got stuff.
What do you think of the Derby? Hey.
Cool.
What do you think of the Derby, buddy? What do you think?
40, you were
I'm at the Derby.
Number 40.
Woo!
Bye.